Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the night hour. Yes, we're recording this late at night again because Chewie was kidnapped. Therefore, but don't worry, he's saved. He's only been scarred for life at this point. It's ARPG. It's episode
10.
10.
I think it's 10.
And today, we're talking about a couple things in the gaming industry to start. Well, one, because I feel like we need to talk about the CD Projekt Red expose. But first, hey, Lucas, how are you?
Oh, the picture's out of whack. Oh, fuck. Give me 1 second. Okay. Now the video has something happening. Yay, the video has moved. Yay. Stuff's happening. There you go. Boom.
Are we good?
Yes, and I'm doing all right. How are you today, Guru?
Can't complain. I played a little bit of SFO Grimhammer for Warhammer 2 for the first time. It's something.
Okay.
It's huge. Like, it's an entire overhaul of the entire game and not like just like a specific faction.
All right.
You know, maybe one day we could get into it. But anyway, today, like I said, I wanted to start out with talking about the whole CD Projekt Red expose by Jason Schreier.
Okay.
Because, oh my, it's something.
CD Projekt Red. Where did we go wrong?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the thing I want to put on is this statement that he got. We made The Witcher 3. It'll work out. Because you know what that sounds like?
Sounds like
remember what they said in Mass Effect, right? With Anthem? BioWare magic, right?
We made Mass Effect 1 and 2. Mass Effect Andromeda will not be a crapstorm.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there just like...
Anthem, yeah.
How the fuck can people still think like that?
I mean, it's good to have sort of, I suppose, past achievements, but... Yes, I get that. It's good to have faith, but like... You gotta look at the people that still worked at it. Are they actually the same people? And are they actually going to get the same amount of time to that? Like, if it was I don't know about completely the same team, but like majority of the same team, the main leads and like the main people
like
working towards
maybe they could reach it.
Maybe,
right?
Yes. And maybe if you add in a few more new people towards it, like putting in a different kind of feel, or if you look at their work and you talk, I don't know. I feel like maybe there might have been a bit too much faith in their past achievements than anything else in this case.
But maybe, like that's a big takeaway for me because it makes me realize it's like, oh, so they got incredibly overconfident and then just got bit by the sword.
Yeah, that we have. I don't know if.
And then we get specific tidbits from it, as Schreier points out. One tidbit is like veteran devs from other companies were shocked at CD Projekt Red's free-for-all production. An example being, if they needed a shader, right, they just make it with nothing, no pipeline in place to determine if somebody had already made pretty much the exact same thing. Like, again, how is this even possible?
Maybe they're just trying to be too overly ambitious in that one area.
It feels like their ambition caught them in the ass because, like, they debuted the game in, 2012, right?
I don't know about gameplay, but they said
that's when they announced
in 2011.
Yeah, so they announced it in 2011, right? Get this. Up until 2016, Cyberpunk 2077 was a third-person game with wall-running, flying cars, and ambushes.
Oh.
All of that was cut.
Oh.
The police system in it was done last minute.
Oh.
So you know how in the game police literally just show up randomly, kill you, then run away?
Well, it's not random. You just literally look away from an area that's possible for you to like be in, and then they're there when you look back.
Yeah. So pretty much they just randomly pop up.
No,
so
no,
like that
it's not random. It's literally if you look away from one spot, they're in your blind spots. That's it.
But that's also not how it should be, right? I mean, for fuck's sakes, we got GTA and Red Dead literally doing a perfect, like, their comp system is pretty great.
Yeah, because they're already kind of going around too. They've already got patrols. So
and then here's the thing: Cyberpunk was announced 8 years ago, right? Development didn't really start until 2016.
Wait, technically 10 for 2021.
Well, whatever. I'm reading Jason Schreier's thing.
Okay.
So development didn't really start till 2016. And you know that trailer in 2018? It was all...
you talking about...
E3 2018.
Was that the first gameplay or was that the second gameplay?
It was the demo at E3.
Oh.
It was pretty much all fake.
Yeah, I don't know which one that was, honestly. I feel like there was the 2015 one, there was one, and then
mentioning the main ones at E3.
I don't remember.
In 2018.
I don't remember the 2018 demo. I'm going to look that up.
But he said that entire demo was mostly fake. But staff knew about it and openly said it wouldn't be ready for release, but management said they believed in CD Projekt Magic.
Oh, is it this? I'm gonna have to mute this one. Give me 1 second.
Make sure it's muted. But yeah, no, it just shows that they really just bit off so much more than they could chew. Add on that piss-ass apology by the owner who just doesn't even seem to get why the game failed. And it's depressing because we see this. We just see this too much. And there's a comment that I see on it that I really liked, is that you compare CD Projekt Red and how it did its world to, say, GTA 5, right? Say what you want about GTA 5. It's clearly been overmilked. The online has lasted far too long, and the fact that we haven't even seen a hint of GTA 6 is pretty disappointing. But you have to respect and understand the fact that Rockstar just know how to make an open world game. They've shown it with Red Dead and they've shown it with GTA that you just buckle down, keep working out, you unleash it in the world, and then you just profit, right?
I mean, we have to keep in mind, wasn't GTA just the story in the very beginning? They didn't add the multiplayer till later, and even then, when the multiplayer came out, it wasn't like the ultimate.
No, there's been bumps in the road.
They had to have time as well. They had
the main game, Grand Theft Auto, like the main game that you can compare to the Cyberpunk, right? So the things that are most comparable, right? The open worlds and all that. GTA is... Okay, I'm going to go a little and say this. I think Grand Theft Auto 5 might be the best open world in gaming history.
Just the initial game, you said? The first player?
Yeah, like the single player. I think Grand Theft Auto 5's open world is immaculate.
Yeah, I mean,
But that,
I'd say it's up there. I'd say it's pretty.
But we're getting a little bit off track. But what I'm saying is, like, when you look at like CD Projekt Red, they're like, we'll promise the moon, we'll do this, we'll do that, you'll get this, you'll get that. Rockstar, they just shut up, get to work. They don't promise, like, they'll give you an idea what they want, but they don't stand out there and promise the moon. They're like, we'll make a damn good game, you'll get it when you need it. And the one thing that was pointed out in the beat 'em ups video that I watched is you just look at how CD Projekt Red changed. Because when they announced the game, right? They announced the game. They said pretty much, we do not know when it's going to be ready, but we will release it when we believe it's ready, when we think it's a good game, when it is the best game possible. And then you see the quotation marks apology by one of the founders, and he's like, he's like, we know it may not have been perfect, but we believe it was the best it could be. And it's just like, no, it fucking wasn't.
I mean, again, maybe they were looking at other things altogether. I mean, down right to the core, everything else was pretty much fine. It's just they need to work on literally everything else that's not the core.
I mean, let's be real, Chewy. The game isn't even that appealing, really.
No, it's actually kind of fun.
I mean, again, you can enjoy stuff, right? Like, we all enjoy games that everybody else considers bad. For fuck's sakes, I play freaking
League of Legends. League of Legends.
Okay, yeah, League of Legends. How about that, right?
Civilization. No. Total
but
War.
You get my point. It doesn't matter if something's bad. You can still find enjoyment out of it, right?
Again, I'm just saying the raw. I'm not saying like everything else. I'm saying the main core actual shooting RPG-ish areas. Well, not all the RPG aspects. Mostly RPG aspects seem like they could use a lot more tweaking.
But you cannot deny me this. Cyberpunk 2077 is not what it was expected to be. And the fact that they promised the moon, and then they come out with not only not the moon, but a buggy mess that feels like just another Fallout in a sense. Like, it's okay, this is that and this.
I mean,
like, it feels very plain from what I've been seeing.
I mean, I get that a bit for sure.
And also, I think a lot of the issues from Cyberpunk are not like issues in like, oh, they should have been better. Like, by all intents and purposes, Cyberpunk fails in basic design.
Oh.
Like, why can't there be car ambushes, right? There literally can't. Half the time you're in the 3 car chases, they will only die at specific areas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, again, there's basic design flaws here.
Oh, I see. When you're talking about the car chases themselves. I mean, you can kill the people in the actual vehicle themselves, but they won't let you, per se, explode the car until a certain moment. And
which is
one chase. In another one, you can kill all the people inside, but you won't be able to shoot the driver till the one point, and then that driver then careens off and or no. Actually, if you kill the driver, in one of the chases, in one moment, the car actually does not go off and skid and explode. It actually just stops in the middle of the road.
Again, you're seeing my point. The issues with Cyberpunk are less about, hey, it promised it and didn't deliver. It's more about the fact that you're looking at it, you're just saying, this is basic game design that we've seen in, like, fucking PS1 games.
Really? I've never seen a PS1 game like this before.
I'm talking about game design, like driving mechanics. Like, again, I'm going to quote the Beat 'em Ups video, but look at Driver for the PS1.
I don't remember Driver.
It's just about like the basic design philosophy, right? When he did the video, the cars literally couldn't back up. It was impossible for them to go into reverse. The NPCs literally just go down and duck and cover. That's it, right?
Yep, or they run away.
Yeah. Why is it that like Cyberpunk is using those just bare bones things, using cheats to make it think like stuff is happening, and then you got Red Dead with like everything Cyberpunk said it would have and then some, day and night cycles, NPCs with lives that Cyberpunk claimed they would have, NPCs reacting differently to that. They don't just go down and hold their heads. Like, again, this is basic game design that just feels gone in this game.
You know, I think in this case, definitely there are a lot of the open world kind of mechanics feel very much missing. But at the same time, when I keep on looking at certain things, other things in Cyberpunk, like say in quests or with interacting with certain mission NPCs, not just random NPCs, but just mission tied NPCs and certain choices and things that you make. They do actually pretty well in that aspect.
Sure, but you got to think about it like that.
No.
Those guys were probably...
Hear me out, Marcel. I think in this case, they spent too much time. Well, not too much, but they spent pretty much all their time focused on more of the missions, the side missions, the mission aspects and anything. Because when I look at it and go back every once in a while, or I look onto certain videos that I've like chose different routes or something like that, or actually pointed out certain things afterwards, I have to admit they put more detail into that than they did in the actual open world. I think that was it. They shouldn't have made it open world in that case. It almost feels like it should have kept to a smaller, limited, kind of linear type of game if they were going to do anything, because it almost feels like they just worked on a linear game than anything. In that case, Marcel, I think they focused too much on their actual main and side stuff, and then when they were like, hey, we're going to make it open world, they made it open world like last minute almost. That almost just feels like it in a sense. And I'm not going to like say because of that shouldn't have made it open world. The open world at times is still all right, passable, but
like what, 2016 onward?
But at the same time there, I kind of still enjoy the main storyline to the side storyline and the details they put in it. And I think that's what their downfall was, that they didn't focus on for whatever reason. They didn't focus on that.
Said, if you can find enjoyment out of it, that's great. More power to you, right?
No, it's not just the enjoyment itself. I think they actually put everything into that point, like the actual quest lines and stuff, the linear part in a sense. They did not put any time almost. They put like barely enough time, I feel, in the actual open world part.
Yeah, and
everything else was
quite a bit.
Everything else was just fine to an extent, but like it was more. It was all the main weaknesses I find is yes, open world. They needed to do something about that for sure.
And like I think the thing that really bit them in the ass was that 2018 demo, because it was faked. Because you
okay, so I'm going to point out right here as well. The 2018 demo, Marcel, is actually majority of it is in the game itself. The only things they changed were basically where Jackie kind of ended up meeting you.
Chewie, that whole thing was mostly faked.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense to me because it's still the same thing that's actually seen in the game.
Yeah, but Chewie, a thing can be seen in the game, right? What I was about to say is it probably, kind of like Anthem did, forced them to think, okay, we need to do something like this, right?
Oh. Well, I don't know. In that case.
Yeah. Because, like, Anthem was completely faked, and it's just like, we need to do this. When in reality, they probably couldn't have, right?
Oh, shit, my
machine Because even then, that Jackie mission was buggy as fuck on release.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, the one point it was for a lot of people when Jackie started to walk away and walk into a
like, it's just
like a locker. That was weird.
It's just really sad when you hear them saying, we did for Witcher 3, we can do it, and it's just like, no, you can't. Smarten the fuck up.
Well, I mean, it's in this type of industry, a lot of the times you have to have a pretty good profile to pull things off, really, or get contracts. And I'm glad, you know what? Like, it's good to have a past achievement for sure, and to use that as sort of a morale booster is fine.
Yeah.
But like as a morale booster only, really.
Yeah. Don't use it as a justification to make you think you can bite off more than you can chew.
Not that only, but also don't make it so that's it. That's the only prior you have. You're just like, we made the Witcher 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not more of the fact that like you bite off more than you chew. Just if you can't look at the same game, right? It's got to be different. It's completely different. You got to look at what you actually offered and say, this is actually possible. If it is possible, then how much time will it have to be put onto this? Do we need to, I don't know. Maybe there's just way lack of more planning and everything else of management.
You also need to think about it. Wait a minute. How did they make the NPCs and whatnot good in Witcher 3 and fail here?
You know what? They just copy pasted and put them onto the linear storyline only.
That's probably what happened. Anyway, there's one more topic I want to tackle before we talk about anime this week, and it is anime. Because I don't think we've talked about the bombshell that was dropped just a couple weeks ago.
Is it the different way to be a healer or something?
No, Sony buying Crunchyroll.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, that is both. Okay, I'm looking at this as in a double-edged sword. One, it leads closer to Sony having a monopoly on the Western anime market since they also own Sentai Filmworks, I believe.
Sony?
Or is it Aniplex? No, they own Aniplex.
Sony?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, let me just Google it because I'm pretty sure I heard Sony owns Aniplex. Yep, they're owned by Sony.
Well, there's still
Yeah, Aniplex is a Japanese anime and music production company owned by Sony.
Oh, Sentai Filmworks is one of the few niche holdouts that are not owned by Sony.
Yeah, and that's where the questions start to begin because, as I said, it's a double-edged sword. Personally, I think all anime on one streaming service isn't bad because the fact of the matter is, I'm going to be honest here, Hulu, Amazon, High Dive, and all those other sites that aren't Funimation, Netflix, or Crunchyroll suck monkey chunks.
And even then, you still don't like Netflix.
Well, Netflix I have my issues with because I think they don't understand how anime people want to watch anime. The fact that they hold on to anime and don't release it till it's like half over when it kills all the hype for the show is just pointless, if you ask me.
Oh, I see.
Because, like, I'll use an example. Little Witch of Academia released, 3-4 years ago, right?
Yes.
It debuted in the winter season, and it wasn't released till halfway through the spring in Netflix, killing all its hype because there are people who just won't pirate. So all the hype of Little Witch is dead because the seasonal attitude of anime fans, once the season's over, it's on to the next one, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So that's really been my main whole issue with Netflix. If they want to use their Netflix originals, the ones that like they help make themselves, go right ahead. But anything you license, I think should be released weekly.
Yeah. I think it's got to do with the whole binging it all at once kind of thing for Netflix, though.
I mean, that's been their whole attitude, and to me, it just hurts the shows they get.
Yeah.
Like, very few shows survive the Netflix red bars of death.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only one that survived it recently is Beastars and Great Pretender.
Really, the only other ones that would really benefit are the ones that are made by Netflix themselves.
Yeah, Castlevania comes to mind.
I think it was Knights of Sidonia as well.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that.
That was interesting.
There's some pure
very
CG, so
yeah, it was all right for pure CG. And it was also.
Oh, we'll be talking about CG in a minute.
Oh God, there's a lot of like, I don't know.
But the issues come up with this whole thing is, well, monopolies. Sony is like outside of Netflix. Sony has like 3 of the 5 biggest Western producers in anime. Like, they already owned Funimation, they owned Aniplex, they own now Crunchyroll. Like, what? Like, it's very clear to me that Sony wants to be a big name in the anime market,
which is interesting. Did they even show that much interest in the last like 10 years? Maybe 10 years ago?
They bought Funimation in 2017, and they stopped, in my opinion, the best thing about fucking anime, which was the Crunchyroll Funimation partnership, where Crunchyroll would handle all the subs and Funimation would handle all the dubs on their own, right? So if you wanted subs, you'd get Crunchyroll subscription. If you wanted dubs, you'd get a Funimation subscription.
I wonder if they're going to do that now.
I wish that came back, because I thought that was the best thing ever.
Yeah, actually made more sense, to be quite honest.
Yeah. But in 2017, they kiboshed that.
Yeah, because they bought Funimation.
Yeah, they bought Funimation.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, they just bought Crunchyroll for $1.2 billion.
You know what's actually kind of random off topic just a tiny bit? Discord is actually $7 billion worth.
I'm not surprised in the slightest.
So that's something to think about there. When Crunchyroll says that 1.2 billion or 1.7 billion, but you got a 7 billion social app, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's.
But no, it's one of those things where, like, I want every anime on one source. I think it's stupid that if I wanted to watch the anime if I wanted to watch everything that I wanted to watch, I'd have to pay upwards of $30 to $45 a month.
I think there are definitely some benefits to.
But then we get to the monopoly issue, which then it's just.
Because Sony can do
anything,
yeah, and then you wouldn't be able to do anything. Yeah, because they own everything, and all you'd be doing is
like, imagine
time to shell out another $500 for another 1 year of anime.
Imagine if they somehow, I know it's not going to happen because Netflix ain't going to give it up. Imagine if they somehow got a hold of Netflix's anime.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's a lot.
And it's one of those things, like, Monopoly is terrible. Right, like, there's no reason to want it. But we also can't deny that, let's be real, Crunchyroll and Funimation and Netflix are the only good anime services, and they've been the only good anime services for a decade now.
I really hope they don't change too much of Crunchyroll. Did they really change anything in Funimation? Really?
They didn't do much to Funimation. They got Funimation back into the licensing game. Since, like I said, Funimation didn't license much of anything sub-wise.
Because they were doing everything dub, simulcasting, stuff like that, yeah.
But it's going to be I am definitely interested to see what's going to happen precisely. Because, like, this is a big moment in anime history. What's going to happen in the Western side?
They're going to make us all watch hentai, Marcel.
Chewy, that's only you.
No, they're going to get Ishoku reviewers 20 more seasons, and then they're gonna do all like the weird revenge porn stuff, fever dream.
I love how freaking, speaking of Ishikoku reviewers, freaking Sony picked that up, right?
Yes.
And then they were like got laughed at because, again, you pretty much just picked up softcore porn, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason why the redo of The Healer went to High Dive. Sony knew, okay, we can't screw up this time.
That and now they're probably gonna be like, yo, Crunchyroll, Funimation, is this a good anime? That's what I'm just picturing in my head now. They're just gonna look at something. They're gonna look at something really mild. Could look at something very, very popular. Look at the title, look at the plot, and then just like hand it over to them. Is that a good anime?
Yeah. They'll call Prozede.
Prozede to come up. Hey, is this a good anime? Yes, definitely amazing. Much. License it right now. Okay, thank you. Give him like $100. Just slide a hundo to him and then just walk off.
We love you, Prozede, by the way.
But yeah. Oh, jeez.
It's gonna be interesting. I'm generally interested to see what Sony do. Anyway, let's talk about this week. It was an interesting week in anime. We had a couple. Attack on Titan continued to blow people away, and also the Mappa got death threats for some reason.
People just don't like that whole fascist thing, huh?
It's less of, no, this time they were pissed off at supposed animation issues, and I'm just like, fuck off.
Oh, I thought it was something to do with the whole Nazi thing, but okay.
Oh, I could get into that, of how freaking, dude, seriously, this season of Attack on Titan might be the best written start it's had.
I understand why one of our friends say Mikasa's a dude now.
I mean, she definitely does not. Okay, look, I hate saying this, but she looks more Chad than anything else now. Like, I get it. She's older now and the war's beating her up, but you can at least give her something to show off her femininity.
Your son calls me daddy, too.
Dude, Levi is just a badass.
Oh, no, yeah.
Well, like, I will say, this is probably the best start Attack on Titan's ever had. It's been brilliant. They did a great job in showcasing just how fucking despicable the Marlians are, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, people are going to say, oh, it's Nazis. It's pretty much what it is. The Marlians are Nazis.
I mean, they're bigots, so yeah.
Like,
the way that they did it, yeah, it was pretty much, yeah.
Like, the Marlians are pretty much Nazis, and you know what? It's been a good write, because, oh my god, is it disturbing. Watching how, like, the Eldian children are pretty much indoctrinated to hate the people on Paradise.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredibly disturbing. Like, that first episode, watching, I think her name was Gabby, run out in the middle of the battlefield just to prove herself to her Marlian overlords. Yeah. You just feel disturbed watching it. You feel icky.
You feel icky.
And now that Aaron's pretty much a bad guy, too, it's just like, well, what do we root for?
I don't know anymore.
And then we had ReZero continues to be just. I don't understand, Lucas. I don't understand how a show can continuously just have high moment after high moment and just continue to be immaculate. Like, it just. ReZero Season 2 is quickly becoming one of the best shows ever made. I'm serious.
Oh.
It's just. The episode last week was amazing.
It told a
great story. It told a great story, told the battle between Otto, Garfield, and Ram was great. But then it bounces right back to Subaru and Amelia, who just let it out, and then they finally kiss. And like the contrast between when Amelia first kissed him in a timeline that ended because he died, where Amelia was so mentally broken, she was the witch of envy at that point, to now where it was just purity and light was great. And then this episode today that I watched was just the best. I don't get how a show can literally keep bouncing from great moment to great moment to great moment, full of energy, and not have a tip off. Like normally you see shows kind of have like a little lull point to give your viewer a chance to relax and take something in, right?
Okay, yeah.
ReZero's lull points are still like, oh my god, this is just like so intense and amazing.
Okay.
Like the lull points that ReZero 2 has had is pretty much when Subaru talks to Roswell.
Okay.
And it ends up being just war of words and just like dancing around each other and trying to pull someone in, right? And I just, again, I don't understand how this show continues to have high point and high point and high point and not miss a fucking beat. Like, this is the same show that in season 1 was good. It was really good at times, but it never truly captured you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I get that. I
think the first half of ReZero was decent to good. I think the second half of ReZero season 1 was the best. Like, I really enjoyed the whale arc. And when they finally changed the focus of, instead of Subaru trying to impress Amelia by helping Amelia, it's Subaru trying to impress Amelia by just being a better person.
Yeah.
And like, I think that, and the battle against Petelgeuse, even though it was a bit rushed, was again pretty good. It's so hard to believe that was the first season of this ReZero, where the writing is insanely quality, the character development has been brilliant, the pacing has been perfect, and the story turns never get old. Like, again, there is a holy shit moment every episode. And it's only going to get better now that the climax has started, now that Amelia's continuing her trial and confronting Echidna, now that Subaru has got Garfield to become a tsundere and join him, so then he can go save the mansion and stop Roswell from being a cunt.
Stop being a cunt.
Like, I just don't get it, Chewie. How can a show be this good and never miss a beat?
Oh my. I just accidentally wanted to. Okay, that's.
What'd you do?
Nothing. Nothing sound-wise. It's more.
But yeah, no, I still think, like, it's weird. ReZero 2 is, to me, clearly the best, had the best start this winter.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But I want to focus on 2 more shows just to end it.
Let's see.
So I'm a Spider, so what?
Yeah.
Chewie, this show's really good.
I don't know. Apparently the people of Mal do not agree with you.
Well, the people of Mal can suck my dick.
Holy crap, Marcel. This is actually... The score is really close to... Holy crap, it's really close to a redo of a Healer.
Like, I don't get why it's score. Okay, no, actually, no. 7 is respectable because right now, in my opinion, this show's at about an 8.
6.95 to a 6.85.
I mean, also, redo of a Healer apparently didn't have its mind fuck yet. Like, what I was hearing is the first episode was rather tame.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say about this show is that there's 2 things that I really liked. One, I think the comedy with Kumiko right now is hilarious. Like, she is incredibly entertaining and very fun to watch. But what I liked is the stuff they introduced with Firun, the Earth Dragon, that's Shun's pet. The thing that she said is like, it kind of introduces something that you don't see in isekais too much.
The fact that multiple people are all transferred over.
No. The fact that she treated the reincarnation as a punishment.
Oh, yeah.
Because she put it like this. She sees all her friends who got reincarnated, right?
Oh yeah, as actual sentient humans and like cool races
sentient
and girls
humans,
and other
princesses, princes, leaders, and she's just an earth dragon. She's just this little pet.
And then it goes over to the spider.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm fighting for my life. Hello?
And it kind of brings up this attitude that
am I a joke to you?
I wouldn't say I'm a joke to you. It's more that I think in Kumako's case, she's trying to make the best of what she got, right? She's trying to make, like, you know, it's the title of the anime. So I'm a spider. So what, right?
Yeah.
While on the other side, she's just like, wow, did I really, like, I deserve this. I deserve to be nothing but a pet.
Oh, because she was a
And of course,
person.
she's going to get a humanoid form because who cares if that's a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
But, like, by the way, her humanoid form is kind of cute. Here.
You already sent me it, I'm pretty sure.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, you sent me that one. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean her dragonoid form is cute?
Well, on the page, it says humanoid.
That doesn't look very human.
Whatever. But yeah, what I was going to say is, like, I kind of like that they're going for that, right?
This feels like it's going down a really... Okay, no, I won't say that. That's Rule 34. Never mind.
Okay, fuck off a rule. But I kind of like that they actually address that.
Yeah.
Like, it gives the show a little more feeling. And, like, I think the CG hasn't been that bad. It's not Beastars level Studio Orange, but it's it's better than what Milempanies has done before, because Chewy, this is the studio that did Berserk.
This
and Copcraft.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now, before I get it, I want to point out that
oh, and TQ, Jesus fuck.
Oh god, the director's the same person.
It is the same guy.
Well, I mean, it's not okay. It's better. It's not great. There's still some stiff moments, but it's better. So,
oh my god, it is the same guy.
Okay, my faith in the show just went a little down a bit, but it does have a story to carry it, unlike Copcraft did. Copcraft had no story.
Oh my god, he did Bisquash too.
But there are a lot of 2D moments used in this, which I think are...
He did Copcraft and Berserk second season.
Yeah.
But he also did Bakemonogatari.
He was a key animation and episode director.
How has he done all this but still did Copcraft and Berserk?
Because, again, they had him do that even though he had no expertise in CG.
Jesus Christ.
But no, I will say, this, again, it's good. It's easily one of the more enjoyable shows of the winter thus far, and it's one of the ones I look forward to, because I do want to see where the story goes.
I feel like these people in Mal should just lighten up a bit and give it a little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
higher.
no, I think people... Personally, in my opinion, I don't think you should be able to rate shows until episode 4 or 5.
I think you should be given at least, like, until all the episodes are released, and maybe then you let people freaking rate.
I mean, if you want to go that far, sure, I ain't going to stop it, right?
Because at that point, most people either are watching it all, or are attempting to watch it all, or have watched a fair bit. Yeah, I don't know. Just.
But yeah, no, like, I think it's really good, and I think it's worth people's time. It's got a compelling interest to it, right? Like, the boy who became a girl was a little funny thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, just imagine if she starts... Imagine the awkwardness that person must be in when it gets to like, oh, wait, I'm a girl and I need to love someone. Yeah. And of course, I already mentioned the Earth Dragon. Then there's Kumiko.
Wait, person could just be a lesbian in the end.
That is true. That is true.
Still be lesbians.
But yeah, no, I think Soma Spider So What has had a pretty damn good start, and I'm looking forward to it.
Or it could be transgender.
I want to give a quick shout out to Promise Neverland. Promise Neverland continues to be absolutely amazing.
I see it's still doing very, very well.
Yeah, no, freaking that last episode really showcased how well Promise Neverland is at emotion building and like setting up impacts, right? Like every single word, every single moment had a little more to it than what met the eye. But the final show I want to talk about before we go to yours, Chewy, Higurashi's ruined me.
And I keep telling you, I don't watch Ryu's whatever 17 studio stuff for a reason.
Like, it's great. It's generally great. Because you remembered how I was talking about last week, how Higurashi pretty much went to the fact that Rika is just, she's going to quit after 5 attempts, right?
But you can't fool me with that, Marcel. I know.
Huh?
You can't fool me with that. It's ruined me, and then it's great. And I know Ryuki's 17. No, yeah, you said that, yeah. No, I remember.
Yeah, and like, it's like, okay, well, maybe she'll get to 3. Like, you're thinking, what, there's 10 episodes left. Usually every arc's about 3 to 4 episodes. You're thinking, okay.
It's got time.
Got time. And then this episode aired.
Psych.
They killed her off 4 fucking times in a single episode in the most brutal ways possible. The first way is when Akasa shows up and he's talking to her because on this timeline, she was the reason Akasa was able to get back home and save his pregnant wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
He brutally murders her, then sets the house on fire, killing himself, right?
Lovely.
Next timeline, Shinon and Mion's mother starts decapitating everyone in the family and then kills her.
Yay.
Timeline number 3, the mayor of the town drowns her.
Yay.
Timeline number 4, Kiechi bashes in the heads of her friends and then bashes in her head.
Yay.
And I'm just sitting there just like, oh my god. Like, and here's the thing. In terms of a story turn, I think it was incredible.
I mean, yeah, then just puts her on the edge. Like she said,
yeah,
I can only take us 5 more times. And I was brutally done.
There is 9 to 10 episodes left. They can take this story so many ways now that she has 1 life left. What happens if she dies again, right? Are they going to have somebody convince her back? Because in my opinion, you cannot end this show with Rika killing herself. Because think about this. Think about how much of a deflator would be if the series ends with Rika just not being able to get through it after all the punishment she's endured, right?
Oh, the punishment. Oh, they suffering.
Like, to me, that's not a good, bad ending because there's nothing satisfying around it. And you could say, bad endings shouldn't be satisfying. No, bad endings can be satisfying because you feel like, okay, this happened, they deserved it, right?
It's just a sad ending at that point.
At that point, it's just like, she went through all of this for nothing. And I don't think that would sit well with me.
Yeah, it's a sad ending, Marcel. It's what it is.
But, like, I am so intrigued with every episode after because of it. Because of that looming threat that if she dies one more time, the sword of Damocles is going to fall on her and end her.
Yike.
And, like, it was great. It was genuinely great, and it was the most traumatic experience I've had in anime in a while because fuck, it comes out of nowhere.
It really does.
Ugh.
you don't see it in like it's never really foreshadowed. You're just like, hey, it's got like 10 more episodes, 5 more deaths. I can see that lining up pretty well.
And then all of a sudden, it looks like the arc's starting right. It looks like, okay, we're gonna get another new arc. Here's Akasa. I remember him. Yeah, I remember. Then all of a sudden, it cuts to Akasa, who's pretty much gutted Rika to the point and is setting the house on fire. Oh, okay, we're going that route. Oh, what?
Die.
All right, Chewie, talk about the shysters you've watched.
Didn't you watch some of these though as well?
Well, I mean, I can cue in when needed, but you can lead the conversation.
Okay. All right. Second season of when I turned into that time I turned into a slime. Did we talk about first and second episode? I don't remember last time.
I don't think we talked much about the first episode. No, we didn't. We recorded on Monday, remember? And the first episode aired on a Tuesday.
Okay, no. Well, then first and second episode, then this picks up after was it after like the conflict in the end of the first season? Where Rimuru saved
conflict?
Didn't Rimuru like save the Tempest or something?
No, Rimuru saved the kids, remember?
Oh, from the spirit thing?
Yeah.
And they bonded with spirits. Is that it?
Yeah, that's the first season ended.
Wow, okay, no, my memory must be off then. Maybe I'm remembering the manga.
Yeah, like the last episode also was a flashback to Shizuru.
Yeah, I think I'm remembering the manga because the manga is something else altogether. But I'm guessing I suppose they're just saving that for later on, which makes sense because it is kind of a big thing. But yeah, so now Rimuru has gone back to focus on Tempest, I believe, a little bit more. First episode, I believe,
building up Tempest's relationships.
Yes, and that's basically the first episode or the end of the first episode. There is that the was it the Beast King Kyrian or whatever?
Yeah, the Beast Kingdom Kyrian sent his emissaries to him. Well, they send his emissaries to them, and it's just let's just fight to see how we actually like each other.
And this is basically it. And then the second episode was just like, they were just testing us, We don't want to ally with anybody weak or anything. I guess that's the whole aspect. So
yeah, and
it made sense. And then they like solidified some trading routes and stuff with them because they're like, we don't get fruit that often from the forest. And they're like, our country has a lot of fruit, so give us booze, give us a lot of this fruit booze then, because they're just drinking it by the barrel. But no,
it was pretty much the normal slime stuff.
Yeah, I was just catching up really. Was there anything else? Oh, and then they just ended up with him going to the Dwarven Kingdom. Yeah, just to give the thank you for the whole vouching for them for being a kingdom at that point when they were looking for allies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty decent, very slime stuff. I also watched Skate to Infinity.
Yeah, you've been really liking that show, haven't you?
Honestly, it's pretty good. Yeah, no, I mean, first episode, I feel like I was really, really hyped because I really did like that last little race at the end, the last beef, I should say.
Yeah.
And it was just a combination of animation, graphics, or not graphic, well, artwork more than anything, music, and like the build up to it, basically. The fact that one of our main boys is Canadian. Canada. But no, yeah, no, it's great. The second episode is basically following Langa, the Canadian boyo, being top, or basically asking Ricky, red hair boy, the other main boyo, teaching him basically how to skateboard, because it wasn't really, I guess I didn't really mention it in the first or that last episode, but Longa actually had to actually tape his feet to the skateboard, basically to how he would put his feet in the snowboard, because he's not used to not having clasps or anything. He's not used to fully always having to be on balance all the time.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Because he's used to snowboarding. He's not used to being on something with wheels, but still pulled off something pretty cool at the end. So now Reiki basically in this episode is just training him how to just skateboard normally, and then also teaching him how to do the ollie, which is actually a pretty cool thing to note, is that you can learn how to just do regular skateboarding, just learning how to balance and then push yourself off and just skate, basically. But they make some pretty interesting notes, where just like, but the ollie, when the ollie was invented, people then realized skateboarding was more than just boarding on the streets or anything like that. You could, if you ollied or did other things, you could branch out to basically skate on anything, not just the ground itself. Because from the discovery of the ollie, people went on to doing grinding and stuff like that, and jumping up and over.
So it's pretty much like the guy who discovered how to do this, then it led to people discovering how to do that, this, that, and this.
Yeah, it basically led to the whole creativeness of skateboarding as a whole. And I guess that's the whole point of Skate to Infinity, is that they said right here, whereas snowboarding, you're kind of limited to needing snow and everything like that. Skateboarding, you can skate pretty much anywhere, really.
Yeah.
You just needed the right board, honestly, most of the time, or yourself and the board itself, and then you could skate anywhere. And then that was pretty cool. And then I was like, yeah, okay, I get where the infinite part comes in, because you have an infinite amount of possibilities in this case when you're just able to skate anywhere at this point.
And it really helps. It could also help establish the whole type of Fight Club feel you get to it, right?
Yes, that too. When it definitely,
it is literally skateboard Fight Club.
Yeah, it is.
That's hard to believe.
It's interesting so far. And then at the very end, Longa gets challenged to another beef, but this time to a Neko boy, who's apparently.
I think you said you have one more show after this.
Who's apparently some big hotshot. No, I watched a couple things. World Trigger second season again.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. I forgot.
Second episode. Continue on the main fight from the main neighbors attacking Medan, basically Earth.
Actually watches World Trigger and doesn't willingly watch something like ReZero. Ooh.
What?
You heard me.
Doesn't what? Watch what?
Chewie chooses to watch World Trigger, but it's just nah, ReZero's not good enough.
No, ReZero is not good enough. R.I.P. ReZero.
Anyway, World Trigger continued to be decent.
It actually did. What I thought was a big weakness with World Trigger was they fucking repeated things so fucking often. They like to recount basically.
Is it kind of like how Bleach in its later years just kind of repeated story arcs with just different things?
No, it's the fact that they like to freaking recount the last episode by another 10 or 3 minutes or something like that. Or 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. And it's just we saw this. Why are you doing this again, basically? Showing us the entire scene. But actually, I feel like they're kind of learning a little bit of their first season mistakes, because now they're only recounting anything they recount now from the last episode is barely within a minute now. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now we can keep going and actually keep proceeding forward. And I'm kind of half wondering if it was because the author had that big couple hiatuses, honestly, and it was the anime was quite close to the manga material already. So I'm just wondering at that point, was it because they were so close? They were like, we have to delay a lot more time.
We have to delay it. Kind of like when Black Clover's just like, yeah, we need to freaking
slow down.
Yeah, when they ended the first major story with the elves, they're like, okay, we're literally only a couple chapters away from the manga. Let's do a filler arc.
Yeah, I think that's also what they did too in the first season. They ended up, but they also did so much going back and showing the same scenes over and over again, the new episodes. Okay.
Yeah, no, I can get why that's frustrating.
But no, this actually went to the next bit, and it actually proceeded forward. And okay, Marcel, this is going to be one of the very few times I will ever say this, but World Trigger having a big cast actually works out for them in this case. I generally love the combinations that you would not usually see, due to the agency's rivalries in inner factions and rivalries with each other.
No, I can get it. When there's a show that has a ton of characters, and by a ton I mean an actual ton, you can get some interesting combinations that you don't see.
Yeah, not just that, but what was once your enemy could possibly be your ally, and then again be your enemy a little for a bit.
I mean, while there are rivalries, I don't think I refuse to believe that every voice actress and actor wants to kill each other. They may want to do better than the others, but I refuse to believe they actually want to maim each other.
No, but no, it's so interesting to look at in this case. At least they go from basically enemies right from the very beginning, because they see Kuga, white-haired boy, as a neighbor, right? So they have the main anti-neighbor faction part of Border go after him basically, and they want to take him down, and basically they just want to kill him. But then it goes to that from when after he gets entered in, they're kind of neutral towards him now that he's part of their agency and stuff like that. And then there's also the moments where they're they gotta fight each other in the ranking wars, so they have to be serious with each other. And then and then it gets to the point where okay, now they're getting invaded by other neighbors, so now they actually have to work with each other in this case. And all the different situations that hey, this once person that you fought in a rank war, this person that just attacked you in general, and now you're just your allies now. You gotta your worst enemy is now your best ally in this case. What do you do? Things like that. Because there was so much on top of that. And remember, there was another inner conflict where it was with Jin or something with his Black Trigger and how he dealt with certain things. And then the anti-neighbor faction went to basically kick his ass again. That, I think, about World Trigger is very interesting, is that the characters constantly seem to can't seem to always stay even though they have their own personal relationships, professionally they can't seem to stay constantly on the same side sometimes, it seems, which I think is kind of interesting. And then it plays into the aspect where there's a lot of characters, so there's a lot of combinations now to work out with, and I like that when they do all that sometimes. And I like that in this case too, because they're being attacked and now they have to all cooperate in this one sense. So when you get a fight scene with with 4 top 10 attackers taking on 2 of these neighbors, I'm gonna look at it and be like, yo, this shit's about to go down. People are gonna get wrecked in this case. And they did a lot of wrecking, so props to World Trigger in this case. Starting to get their formula or whatever up and going.
All right, you said you had one more after this, that
yes.
dungeon show.
Okay, so this is one which you didn't watch it all, have you?
No, this isn't one, no.
Okay, I'm going to give...
Why is the picture of a lady chained up in, like, scantily clad clothes?
No, that's not this one. I don't know what you're talking about.
Chewie, why am I looking at this?
I think you're looking at the wrong one, my dude.
The hidden dungeon only I can enter?
No, that is not the one I'm watching. That is... That is the one where I said was basically ecchi, where the guy
what the fuck are you watching?
The guy just works off. The guy has powers. That one is like the guy has powers via horniness. That's all.
Okay, what are you watching?
I'm watching. Suppose a kid from the Last Dungeon boonies moved to a starter town. Tatoeba Last Dungeon.
Okay, I found it. Yeah. Moving on.
Okay. This one, Marcel, have you I'm guessing you haven't watched this.
No.
Okay, could you please put this down as one of the ones that you'll watch afterwards? I don't care if you watch it now during the season.
There are many shows I can watch afterwards. Why? It's literally 2 episodes in. Well, 3 episodes in.
Because, Marcel, this is probably one of the funniest comedy ones that I've ever had to deal with or like read. In general, I don't know why it doesn't say comedy, because this feels like it should just be treated as solely as a comedy in this case. Sure, there's a little bit of fantasy and adventure, but literally this should just be treated as a straight up comedy. Okay, the entire aspect is this one boy named Lloyd Belladonna claims he is the weakest in his village, and in terms of everything, and that's why he wants to be a soldier in the kingdom of Azami, and he tries to enroll in that military academy. So here's the thing, though, about that village. That village was founded by basically the ancient saviors of humanity as their haven. So with their descendants, they can assist humanity in times of extreme chaos. That village is apparently situated outside of the infamous Last Dungeon. It is known as Kunlung, and that place, that Last Dungeon is a place where monsters of unimaginable strength reside, and as such serve as hunting grounds for the Kunlun residents. Because, Marcel, they are freaking monsters themselves.
Wait. What?
Because they are the descendants of the ancient saviors, they are incredibly overpowered.
So you're telling me this girl with purple pigtails could probably pick up a mountain?
Purple pigtails. That girl is actually the mayor. She is a grandma, actually. She is the mayor and
You're telling me this witch with the big hat could probably electrocute humanity?
That girl is not. No. That girl's just princess of the kingdom. But no, literally Lloyd, the weakest of the village, is actually the strongest in the Azami kingdom once he walks into the basically. But because he's like the weakest, he always thinks everyone that's like complimenting him and everything is just trying to be really nice and kind to him, and he just keeps thinking everyone's really, really nice to me. But in truth, they're saying no, you're actually really, really strong. You could pretty much kill everybody here if you wanted to.
I could see me wanting to bash my brains out halfway through this.
It's so silly though. And it's so freaking hilarious at times. And oh my god, like he keeps thinking like all of his skills or what he can do is very, very, pathetic or well, not pathetic, but like not super impressive or anything, and that people know how to do things like this. But he only knows 2 spells, Marcel.
Mm-hmm.
But the 2 spells he knows is, 1, he can call rain, and nobody has that ability to call rain. And 2nd, he can apply a rune called Disenchant to a cleaning material, and he uses it to clean stuff. But the thing about Disenchant is, it is also the ability it is also ancient rune magic spell that basically can take out disenchantments like curses and, and magic and basically a lot of other things on that point. But he uses it as basically a Windex or sanitization. Oh.
Okay then.
And due to him being trained as well by the village, he has like this inner aura of always being seen like to be strong. So everyone around him that is trained in military aspects or combat of any way are always on edge around him, because they're like, what the fuck is up with this amount of like just strong aura all the time? Like, am I getting attacked? Am I getting jumped? Do I have to attack? But it's silly. It's silly, and I love it because it's just silly. I'm not gonna say it's like the best comedy out there, but I have to tell you right here on my side, I if you want a good old comedy, I feel like you should just watch that. It's just silly.
Oh, it may be added after.
But yeah, I think that was all the ones that I watched.
Alrighty, well,
I watched Back Arrow.
Oh, okay. Talk about Back Arrow.
I don't know. Okay, so first off, I also want to make a note here. Back Arrow. So the studio is done Karakuri Circus and Ushio Totoro. The
well, Mappa was also a part of that. With
Ushio Totoro. Yeah, Ushio Totoro, yeah.
They did fucking I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which was one of the best movies of all time.
Yep. The main theme song is also by Lisa, just so you know. Mm-hmm. The guy who's doing the script and series composition, Nakashima Kazuki, is the guy who also did Kill la Kill. And
B&A.
Yep, and Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
So why is it rated with a 6.1?
And then the director is the guy who did Code Geass. Like, literally all of Code Geass.
Oh, again, can you believe there's a Code Geass sequel coming?
No, I can't, actually.
Like, it's holy shit. There's an actual Code Geass sequel coming.
And
anyway,
yes,
yeah, continue.
So just saying that for now. But yeah, the first episode, I did not expect this. It was very, very different. I can see why people are rating it so low right now. Because again, this is initial. We've only got like 2 episodes of this, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And literally people are just reacting from the first episode that they have of this, or the first 2 episodes. Yeah, again, you're kind of judging it a bit too quickly here. But I understand, because the first episode was really fucking random. Like, you get introduced. Okay, first episode, you get introduced to the ideas, or like the main basis of this world. It's the place is called Ringarindo or something, and the land is surrounded by a wall. And they determine the wall is like something that protects them and stuff like that. It is a god, basically. There are 2 kingdoms that basically 2 big kingdoms that cover most of Ringarido or whatever. One of them is called Rekka, and the other one is called Luto, I believe. Luto is like this religious intelligence, whatever, intelligent kingdom. Rekka is just the land of like bravery and stuff like that. They get these things called Rukashnos. I don't know how to pronounce that, but basically they're things that come from the other side of the wall. But they believe it to be basically gifts from the wall, from God itself. And usually these Kashnos or whatever there are, they have these bracelets or something in there that allow them to put it on, and then they turn into something called brine light. Brine light is basically a mecha, for lack of better terms, but apparently it's some sort of construct that's created and formed from one's conviction. So depending on your conviction and how strong it is, depends on, it will then change its form and shape and how powerful it is, apparently. So this gift from God is just full of these bracelets, and they're like, oh yeah, we can use it to fight on Luto or whatever, the Rekka guys that find it, and then they get attacked. Coolio, moving on, there's a second drop that suddenly comes down. They're like, oh, there's usually not 2 drops in the same day kind of thing. They're usually kind of spaced out. Turns out there is a naked dude in this drop, and he drops in this just like random ass area that is not tied to Luto or Rekka. It's called like, it's down south. It's just in this little abandoned lands called Iki, and these random ass people like that live in that area, it lands in their village, right? And they start heating it up because they think it's food or something inside. And he comes out like naked, and he's like screaming like, hey, God, what the hell are you doing? Like, is this what you guys do? You set your guests on fire and stuff? And he's completely naked this entire time. And that's the whole running joke, is that like he needs to put something on, but he's not. And he's constantly naked.
Okay then.
And then he says like, I don't remember anything. I don't even remember my name. All I know is that I came across from the other side of the wall. And everyone doesn't believe him, right? Because they've all been born into this wall. They all believe like, there's nothing beyond it. It's just whatever land is here, is here. We're inside the wall. The wall's God. It protects us from nothing outside or whatever. There's nothing out on the other side or whatever. That's interesting in this case. And there's no way other people live out there. But, that's the only thing that he knows, and that's what he keeps on saying. So, one thing leads to another, and some bandit shows up trying to get this pod, basically. He thinks it's like those little arm bracelets or whatever, so he can sell them off to whomever, the biggest buyer and shit like that. But, it turns out it's just that guy. So he doesn't believe the villagers, so he starts tearing up the place. Basically, they're forced to try to defend themselves and stuff like that. Then the guy decides to put on an armband that he apparently had in the pod itself, and he turns into this like weird gelatinous blue, like white mecha of some sort. And he says to the guy, I have no conviction. When he's asked what type of conviction he has, he's like, I don't have any. And he's like, what? It's like, I don't have any. I don't know why it's like this, but I don't have any. That's why it's so weird. And then it's like, okay, well now this guy's just like a complete alien, a complete, it feels like a little bit of a stereotypical, oh, he's different from everybody kind of thing when he puts on the magic doohickey and transforms and gets his powers and stuff like that. And that's kind of where it ends, in the sense he beats the fight and he destroys the other dude's thing. Bright Height. Another note I forgot to mention is when you die in a Bright Height battle, apparently you die. Like if you get destroyed, your Bright Height gets destroyed, you die. Because it's your conviction being ripped apart, apparently. But in this case, when he defeats the guy, the armband just breaks and the guy doesn't die at all. And he's able to get up and get on his bike and just drive away and run. Which, again, is another anomaly. And the Rekka people that are observing him notice it, and they're finding it very funny. And the Iki people are just left in disbelief. Another anomaly, another stereotypical kind of thing. I haven't gotten to the second episode yet, but I understand now why people think this is such a bad anime. Because it starts off really stupid. It really does. And he's still naked, by the way, at the end of this episode. So, what the heck? That, and by the way, Marcel, do you know why they called it back arrow?
No, why?
Okay, no, just give me the best guess that you have. Why did they call this back arrow?
The main character's specialty is a arrow to the back?
No. Back arrow is his name, or is the name that he took.
Yeah, I ain't watching that show.
Because you know why? Because he destroyed the house. Okay, so in the pod that came down that he was in, destroyed the house of one of the characters, and the guy's just like, "You're an idiot! Like, you're a back arrow! You back arrow! You landed him! You destroyed my house, and you're an idiot! You're a back arrow!" And the guy's like, "That's right. That's who I am. I'm back arrow." And I'm like, "What?"
Chewie, can we move to Persona now?
Oh my god. Oh, so stupid. Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have this feeling that it's going to turn real dark real soon, so I really hope I'm wrong. It just doesn't get too dark. But hey, yeah, let's keep going. The main topic from today, EHRPG.
On to the main topic today. And today, we're going to do a little discussion about Persona.
We're going to talk about video games.
Because in my opinion, Persona is one of the weirdest series ever made. Because 1 and 2 are unrecognizable considered, like, it feels mean to say this, but 1 and 2 are just unrecognizable compared to 3, 4, and 5, aren't they?
I mean,
I guess we should just start explaining. Persona is from the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Or branched out from the Shin Megami Tensei series.
And when it first came in, it was pretty similar to the Shin Megami Tensei series. It was dark. It was in... was it in high school or just out of high school?
No, I think it was in high school, the first one.
It was in high school.
Second
it had,
one, I think,
like,
was
the
in high school,
demons
too.
and whatnot. So everything you'd see in, like, the Persona series now, right? And then all of a sudden in Persona 3, they just go full on with the... Well, what's the best way to describe it? Like,
adolescence?
They didn't leave the high school.
The adolescence.
They kept the demons.
The adolescence.
And yet they just went so hardcore onto, like, the... It's hard to talk about it because they seem to go super hardcore on the confidant system.
That might be it, really. It's just the whole bonds thing at that point.
Yeah, like, I'm going to say, I've never played Persona 1 or the 2 Persona 2 games.
Oh, yeah, no, Persona 3 had the social links. They didn't really have social links in the first and second because they were still so tied in.
And they introduced that, and it's just like, it all of a sudden exploded.
Yeah, because... Okay, so here's the thing. I'd like to just point out. Shin Megami Tensei by itself is not a bad game. It is by far a very, very good game, for sure. I mean, okay, I can't say game because, again, I'm talking as a series. But the series itself, there are a lot of good Shin Megami Tensei games.
Yeah, like the Nocturne is getting re-released, right?
Yes, Nocturne was a pretty decent one.
Yeah, so, like, there's a lot of interesting, like, I don't think anybody is saying that, that's high stick. I don't think anybody is saying the Shin Megami Tensei series isn't good.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to, kind of start from the beginning here. Shin Megami Tensei, what was it? 3 Nocturne, and then I think it was 4. 4 was really, really good. There was Apocalypse as well. Apocalypse was amazing. It was basically, like, setting-wise supposed to be around the same time as 4. And then there was, what was it? Strange Journey or something? Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, which, by the way, was fantastic. And they did, like, a remake of it, I believe, which was, like, called, like...
It went,
Strange Journey turned into like Strange Journey Red something or whatever, which was basically Strange Journey.
In 2009, they released Strange Journey. Then in 2013, they released Shin Megami Tensei 4.
And then 16, they did 4 Apocalypse. This is basically in another view of another character.
And this year, they're going to release 5 while re-releasing Nocturne.
Oh, 2018. There we go. 2018 Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux. By the way, Redux, I thought was still interesting. I thought it was still interesting. Oh, and then there was also Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2, which I felt was also still kind of close to the Persona series in a sense, a little bit.
But like, there's nothing that's saying, like, by all purposes, Shin Megami Tensei is a damn good game.
No. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just starting out from there. Yes, it's a great game, but the thing is, when it started to branch off into Persona, I think they basically added something very, very different that the Shin Megami Tensei series did not do. That, and they also, well, at least in number 3, Persona 1 and 2 felt so much like Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, Persona 1 came in 96, and then Persona 2's games were 99 and 2000.
I think because they were so tied in, you could see, like, how dark it was from the get-go. I'm not going to say Persona games are not dark, Marcel, but just they're not. But in comparison to Megami Tensei.
Oh yeah, no, there's no comparison. Like, Megami Tensei is it's just a total different monster.
It's because the entire thing with, I think, Shin Megami Tensei is that they're trying to make the character pick the one of 3 options here. Lawful or chaos or neutral, which they seem to just have a big boner for, by the way, because they keep saying, like, the main theme, I think, that just keeps on going and is also branched out in Persona, is that you can't rely on gods, you can't rely on demons, you can only rely on yourself as humans, as humanity. Like, yourself. You yourself are the only ones that you should take a side on, no matter what, in this case. And that's just a big recurring theme, is the neutral party. And they seem to have that a lot in the Shin Megami. Well, except for Nocturne. Nocturne was, like, heavy chaos, and there was other ones that were sort of, like, lawful, too. But in the newer ones, they were, like, they introduced the whole neutral aspect. And it was like, okay, yeah, they're starting to get a boner for that a bit. And no, you do still see, like, choices and stuff in Persona, but it's not like
near as bad. Yeah, no, there's no denying that.
I feel like Shin Megami Tensei was more thinking as a whole of humanity, whereas Persona was more, because it was kind of like that whole theme with high school students.
Persona 5 and Persona 4 was all about, like, humanity and whatnot too.
I feel like
Persona 5 was all about humanity wanting just to have the easy life, to be controlled, to, like, not take the shackles off.
Okay, I thought that at this point, I thought more Persona themes were more directed more at, like, adolescence type of lessons and stuff like that. Not directed straight towards, like, kids and stuff like that. But I'm thinking more. I don't
think so. I think those issues, I'll use 5 again. The issues of 5 can be focused, like, can be hit with adolescents. They can also be hit with adults. I mean, half the adults in 5 all have issues, right?
No, it's true, but I'm just saying because Persona's, again, it's not directed at I'm not saying they're directed at children or anything, or younger adults or adults in general there. I'm saying because the cast is, like, teenagers budding into young adults or into adults, but basically being adolescents. More the ties and the types of lessons are usually at that point tied in a lot at that point, and, like, that turning point of coming of age, of, like, what does it mean to be human kind of thing. What is it to be finding your place, etc., that type of thing, those type of underlying themes. You can't deny that, Marcel, because again, the main cast are high school students. The themes themselves
the majority of cast of Shin Megami Tensei games not that much older.
Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, I think the guy was an adult for sure.
Well, let's pull it up. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey protagonist.
I know the Devil Survivors are definitely high school students for sure.
Protagonist's name.
I think Apocalypse, that guy, was also a teenager, but I don't know.
I mean, the protagonist is also silent, so it's hard to really get his name.
I think 14 or 4, sorry. Just regular 4. I think the main character is also... I don't know, actually. They don't really mention that. I kind of should have just checked that out. How old is
Shin Megami Tensei 4's main protagonist, Flynn, is 18.
Okay.
So pretty much around the same age as you'd see a Persona character.
Right. But at the same time, I feel like Persona definitely dealt with more coming of age to more the transition, directed at people that were in that transition, or, adolescents.
Except the story of, say, Persona 5 is all about being afraid of pain, which has, that could be just easily translated to an adult.
Yeah, but what... I think it was more impactful because of the fact that they were high school students, no? Or because they were in that kind of
I can see an adult leading the cause. It's like somebody who's like, I've been there. I've led a life of regrets because of pain.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But what I'm mostly saying is I think most of the themes in that case are more connected to the transition. Again, I'm not saying that it can't be relatable to anybody else. I'm sure everyone can find something relatable in anything, really.
Yeah, but saying Persona's directed at kids isn't fair.
I'm not saying it's directed at kids. I'm saying that it's mostly the themes itself. That ones are tied into transition of adolescence and stuff like that. That's why I feel like Persona has more of a connection to most people in that case, because it comes a little bit lighter, even though it's still pretty dark. Yes, it's still very dark.
Incredibly dark at times.
It's just, it feels more, how should I say, if Shin Megami Tensei was more...
Persona's more
cubism?
Personal.
Yeah, basically.
Persona's more about, it's hard. I've never played a Megami Tensei game, so it's hard to remember. But Persona, everything is more personal. Doesn't matter what age you are. Doesn't matter what you are. Everything about Persona is usually in some way about facing something in yourself.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. And that's what the big thing is for, at least for their cast, because they're all adolescents, right? And that's one of the biggest things, is that when you're growing up, you're starting to feel change, and you're starting to see yourself in a different light. Your views start changing. You start maturing, right? Because, you don't technically... you're not technically fully... able to make your own decisions until 20, right? That's why we have underage, etc., etc. They're still growing. They're still developing. That's the whole thing, is that Persona is all about personal themes to deal with transition and adolescence and things like that.
Oh, no. Half the shit doesn't even have to do with adolescence, though, Chewie.
What do you mean it's not having to do with adolescence? A lot of, the underlying themes touch with it. I'm just saying that the main themes that, or underlying themes at that point all have to do with, major connections to basically personal changes, personal growth, what like looking at oneself at that point. Like that's Persona.
Yeah, but to me, looking at oneself isn't directed at adolescence. There could be adolescence themes in the way you're looking, but the idea of looking at yourself is not adolescent in its own right.
No, but I'm saying the formula in this case, because they're using a lot of like high school students, it's really heavily connected to that. Because that's what you do when you're in adolescence. You're changing. Isn't it mostly about personal change at that point? Well, that's why, as well, Persona, all the cases of Persona so far are all high school students, are still in high school. Shin Megami Tensei definitely does have a lot of teenage protagonists, though, for sure. Like literally all of them.
30-year-old dude coming in strikers.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, like main character and like main cast-wise, for sure, definitely.
Well, I mean, I think that also really shows why Shin Megami Tensei has, by all intents and purposes, completely failed up until now.
So again, what I was trying to make the comparison to is, like, Shin Megami Tensei is this really fucking abstract piece of art, whereas Persona, I'm sorry to say this, is a little bit more pop culture. Like, current pop culture.
Well, I mean, it understands what people want, unlike Shin Megami Tensei, which, I mean, it's literally releasing its first game in 5 years and re-releasing something.
I mean, yes and no.
Like, I'm not trying to insult Shin Megami Tensei, but I think there's a reason why Persona has exploded while Shin Megami Tensei is considered niche.
Yeah, because it's literally, they're trying so hard to make this, like, really, I don't know, almost
it's a lot easier to connect to Persona.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
In the most basic of terms, that's literally it. And again, it's mostly to do, I feel, with A, pop culture, B, and how they deal with, like, the underlying themes. Which,
it makes me wonder why they can't tell good story. Well, no, 5 is coming out, so who knows? Maybe 5 will be able to tell the story that Shin Megami Tensei wants to tell, right?
I don't know what that story is, honestly.
Well, no, like, Shin Megami Tensei is coming out, right? Like, fucking, it's coming back. It's going to be in the Switch. But, I mean, like...
It's going to fuck me up, probably, but yeah.
Maybe it's going to allow Shin Megami to start creeping in on Persona, because by all intents and purposes, Persona is now the bigger series.
Well, of course, yes. Definitely.
Like, it's not even close. And that's no insult to Shin Megami Tensei. I've never played it. I respect it. I respect it for what it did. But, like, Persona's overtaken it by a landslide at this point.
And again, you have to admit, Marcel, it's mostly due to the pop culture. I have to make that note.
Can we not use that word? That word feels insulting.
It does, doesn't it? But it's kind of...
Like, fuck pop culture. This game has nothing to do about pop culture. This has to do with the fact that they actually create stories that allow people who are playing it, which, you know what, yeah, I'll agree, are mostly young adults or teenagers, to connect to it better.
Yeah, but that's...
Like, pop culture is an insulting term to me.
Is it? It's literally just saying popular culture. That's what pop culture is.
Yeah, but that to me, that says Persona's just lazy. They just take advantage of pop culture.
No, they're not.
In reality, Persona figured out, okay, we're not going to get anywhere going through the Shin Megami Tensei format.
No, I'm saying that basically, in this sense, it's Shin Megami Tensei just... again, I gotta say it, it's just a little bit mixed up with more popular culture at that point. So it allows for it to bring out its message, which are still is dark, still is meaningful, has connections to people, right? But you can't deny that, Marcel, that they definitely still, that the like one of the major parts of that formula is the fact that they're like connecting with popular culture, which is the masses at this point.
Yeah. Can we move on to the topic, though, that we were really going to talk about with Persona?
I thought we were just talking about Persona as a whole and how, like,
effective. No. But, like, I also want to talk about, like, just the balls they had.
I mean, they do bring up a lot of things.
Well, no, think about this. Think about this, right? Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, right? Comes out in 2000. The next game 6 years later, Persona 3. Drastically different. Confidant system. Like, imagine the balls to, like, say, we need to do this. We need to change the series here, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's impressive to me.
I mean, that's business, isn't that?
That's business too, but you rarely see that nowadays, right? Like, think about how many stagnant game franchises are there right now.
Call of Duty.
Well, no, Call of Duty had a massive change with Modern Warfare in terms of its single player.
But how long did it take to get to that point?
I know, it took a damn long time.
So that still in itself was stagnant, no?
You could say Battlefield is stagnant.
Yeah, it was definitely for a while.
As much as I enjoyed the sports game franchises, don't get me wrong.
NBA 2K.
I love FIFA.
NBA 2K. Super stagnant.
They're stagnant.
FIFA's stagnant.
Yeah, I love my sports games franchises. I will almost always buy them because the game is what I enjoy, right?
But it's still the same formula. There's
no denying that sports games have absolutely dropped the ball over recent years.
And I don't know how they're gonna really do any better. But again, yeah, that's why they're stagnant. I don't know what you're supposed to do with the existing sport, but still.
What if I want to do a quick thing on the sports games? My main thing is just release one game, update it every year.
Oh yeah,
but they won't because they can't. They got to take advantage of Ultimate Team and all those things.
Yeah, and then selling a new game altogether, saying it's not the same game.
Yeah. But let's also talk about more things about Persona itself. Because I've never played 3, sadly. I never owned the JRPG machine, the PlayStation Portable.
Actually, when you think about it, Social Links is basically just like a dating simulator.
There's no denying that. I mean, think about it. It's pretty much just a visual novel.
Again, Marcel, I think that's where the pop culture stuff comes in.
Okay, I agree. I still hate the word pop culture.
No, but I'm saying that's a pretty cool thing to add in there.
Again, it takes balls to go from dark storytelling to still dark, but here you could go fuck your waifus.
Or connect with your waifus and stuff and your friends.
I will say though, the confidant system is one of the best systems I've ever seen in a game.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that's... I don't know if really Persona was the one to spearhead that or not, but...
Fire Emblem had a support system, remember?
Yeah, right, but that was different altogether. Because
it's still based around the same idea. Do things with your people to get them to move on and progress your relationship, right?
Right, but wasn't also like the main... triggers was it's actually supposed to happen in battle or something?
No, everything about Fire Emblem is the more you battle with somebody, the support level will go up, right?
Yeah, and in a sense,
so that's it.
No, I thought that they also had chances to actually get connect.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I thought it was because due to the connection levels at that point, you also then get special type of events or whatever.
Yeah, you get little cutscenes and whatnot. So
and then depending on what your choices are at that point, you can hook people up with whomever. When was that introduced?
Yeah, you can marry someone at the end. Like for example, 3 Houses, you can marry someone.
Yeah, but when was that introduced? Really? the connection
Well, the support system's been in Fire Emblem since day one.
Oh.
Yeah, like let me Google it. I believe Fire Emblem support.
And
Fire Emblem Wiki. When was it introduced?
That connection system basically allowed for better, or not better gameplay per se, but more more support skills and stuff like that, right? Like how they do.
I have supports being in a majority of the games. I just don't know when it was introduced. I think it's been introduced in most games, if not all. But like, how may I put this?
I don't know.
In Fire Emblem Three Houses, for example, you could have every one of your characters get supports with each other, right?
Okay.
And that could end them up with marrying someone. Like, for example, you can have Bernadetta marry Hubert.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
In Fire Emblem Fates and Awakening, you were the reason you could choose who they marry, right? Like it was like in Three Houses, it's more about like chance, right? So Bernadetta could have an A with Hubert and Ferdinand, but she could marry Hubert while Ferdinand marries Dorothea. In Fire Emblem, like Awakening and Fates, because of the children aspect, you pretty much decide who marries each other, right?
Okay, yeah.
And like I said, it's all about like the supports go up the more they battle with each other, right?
Yeah.
And the way you do that is you have them either heal you on the battlefield or stand beside you while you're fighting, right?
I remember that.
So it's pretty similar to Persona, where Persona
wasn't it the it's the other way around though, isn't it? It's what you do outside of battle, which I think is honestly a better formula in this case too. Is this whatever you do outside of battle then affects you in battle. So
with Persona you get bonuses depending.
Yeah, so the activities that you do outside, the connections that you make outside of battle, in your everyday life.
But you also got to remember the Fire Emblem support system works well for you because it's a constant war here, right?
Yeah, and you don't have, and Persona has the whole like
high school life,
and the whole day-to-day thing, and then I guess, well, it's not really. I guess Fire Emblem was not kind of formatted in that way.
The only one that's formatted that way now is actually Three Houses, where the day-to-day activities, the week-to-week activities actually mean something since, teaching and whatnot.
Yeah, so they added in something new in that case to that. Yeah. That's I guess, does that affect, though, the connections that you have?
Somewhat. If you cook with somebody, the relationship goes up.
Okay, there you go. But yeah, that's another interesting thing that pops in, and I think Persona like really takes advantage of really well the whole connections.
Yeah, without doubt, there's no denying that.
Connections and the lessons facing oneself. It seems to get how should I say? The fact that like each character seems to have their has their own personal stories and stuff like that, and you get to learn about it like when you connect with them.
I mean, you do that in Fire Emblem too, but like I get your point.
Yeah, but isn't it also again a little bit different in this case because you don't usually have to spend time with them? You have to bond in battle.
Well, I mean, that's a good way to bond with somebody when you think of it, right?
Well, during battle itself, you have the connection at that point, and then afterwards, okay, here's a little bit, here's a scene. But for Persona to, like, say, hey, you want to invest time in this character and stuff like
you
that,
have to choose, and, like, the first run of Persona is really all about, like, okay, the first run of Persona is always like, okay, I'm gonna bond with my favorites, right?
Yeah.
And then the second run after is like, okay, I'm fucking everybody that moves.
And if you do a third, it's like I know who is useful now.
Yeah. Freaking okay. I want to talk about another thing with Persona, but first, can I tell you how I was introduced to the series?
Sure, I actually never.
Okay, so it's like, when did Persona 5 come out?
Persona 5?
Persona 5 came out worldwide March 2020, right? No, not March 20. No, that's Royal. April 2017.
Yeah, just
right?
Like 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, so you know me. I enjoy my JRPGs, right?
Yeah.
I started a trend that year. I'd buy one JRPG per year that I've never played, right?
Okay.
So it was Persona 5 that year because, you know, I just randomly saw it had good reviews.
Wait, you were never aware of the Persona series before that?
I was aware of the Persona series before it, but like I've never dove into it because I never had a PSP.
Oh.
Never had a PlayStation too. So PlayStation 5, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll give Persona a try, right? It's
PlayStation
a JRPG.
5? PlayStation 4, my dude.
Oh yeah, 4. My bad. Whoops. I wish I had a PlayStation 5.
Hint, 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 hint. Sony, please. Sponsor.
But no, like I'm just like, okay, I'll give Persona a try, right? You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Getting good reviews. Turned out, it became a game I fell in love with. It is one of the, like, I think Royal, for an example, is one of the best games ever made.
Oh yeah,
I
feel like Persona 5 is like
Persona 5. I spent an entire summer in 2017 100% in.
Yeah, I remember this.
It was one of the best gaming moments of my life. When I beat the twin secret boss fight, I let out a victory cry. I remember trying that boss fight for like 10 times from like 12 till 3 in the morning, right?
Okay.
When I got the have Futaba say 200 specifically different dialogue lines, I cried. And when that trophy showed up that you had platinumed the game, it was just like, oh, this was great. This was amazing. Right? And it's just, and then you become connected to the characters, like Yusuke.
Wait,
the suave dipshit. Ryuji could go fuck right off. Futaba, the adorable introvert. Makoto, best girl. Haru, great. All of them great. And then you get all the side characters. That's the thing Persona does so well. All the confidants are rarely bad.
Yeah.
Like, even in Persona 4, the old granny has a touching story.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just randomly picked up Persona 5 and I fell in love with it. So then I watched the Persona 4 anime, I watched the Persona 3 anime, and the second Persona 4 went on Steam. I bought it and played it.
So, I didn't know this, but apparently Persona 2, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment got remakes in 2011, 2012.
Yeah, so did the original, by the way.
Oh yeah, so did Shin Megami Tensei Persona in 2000. That is oh, they came out on PlayStation. Wow. Jesus Christ. I did not know that.
And of course, you've played Persona 4 now.
Yes, I have. I was already aware of the Persona series from the very beginning, honestly.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I was aware of it, but like I said, I never had a chance to play it, even if I wanted to. Right?
I watched a lot of people play.
Yeah, like, honest to God, it's became one of my favorite series. And this chance I get to play Persona 3, I'm going to play it. The chance whenever Persona 6 comes out, I'm going to play it. Persona 5 Strikers coming out next month, I'm going to play it.
Apparently that's a hack and slash, though.
Yeah, it's a Dynasty Warriors game. And you think I care? No, I just want more Persona, right?
I'm interested in how they're going to work that out.
It's not bad, I hear. It's not as good as Hyrule Warriors, but it's enjoyable. And the main thing is has that Persona story charm.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but like,
here's the question, though. Again, here's just a random question, though. Did Persona series open you up to Shin Megami, or did Shin Megami open yourself to Persona? I'm gonna guess it's Persona.
The Persona series has opened me up to willingly give a try to Shin Megami.
Yeah, so that's the same thing for me, and that's just the sad part is Shin Megami Tensei, and that's kind of the sadder part too. Is that I think it was my friend or our old schoolmate Grant was the one who talked to me about the Shin Megami Tensei series. I think at that point too, when I started to talk about Persona, I'm pretty sure. That was basically when I realized, like, hey, there's like another entirely different thing going on here, and it's like time to check it out. And oh my God, Marcel, it's like 7:44. I hope you're recording that next game.
No, I got it on the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
But what I was gonna say is, I think the final thing I want to talk about with Persona is just. Persona 5 is just okay. So
it's a big game. It's a really big and good game.
Persona 4 Golden, really good. Enjoyed every moment of it. Right?
Oh yeah, I have it too.
Like I think it's a good game, good story, good characters, fun moments. You know, the usual. Persona 5 blows it out of the freaking water.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
Like. What the word I use is when I played Persona 4, it just made me appreciate Persona 5 even more, because the things that Persona 5 improves on 4 is actually insane.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it has the visual update. Yeah, it looks better because technology improves. But just simple dungeon design is miles better.
Oh yeah, I hear.
Like you remember, Persona 4 Golden's dungeons are pretty much point A to point B with nothing else.
I hate running through them. I honestly do.
Like they drag on. They drag on for so long, and they are literally the exact same thing, just with a different coat of paint.
It also gets kind of annoying when the fact that you've got side missions or whatever to fulfill that require you to get like certain materials from certain monsters and stuff like that, so you just have to go hunting for those monsters. It's like
but here's the interesting fact. Unlike Persona 5, which has the side missions as a trophy, you don't have to complete every side mission in Persona 4.
You don't have to, or you don't in Persona 4 or Persona 5? What are you
in Persona 4 Golden? In Persona 5, to get the trophy to get 100%, you need to do all the side missions, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
In Persona 4 Golden, there's no trophy for that. So you really only need to do the specific side missions that give you material for other trophies. But yeah, no, like Persona 4 Golden dungeons are terrible. It's just, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It is pretty bad.
They're copy paste. They have maybe one gimmick for one floor, and then it's just back to going around looking for the next floor, right?
I wish you could just run faster.
Add on to the fact that leveling in Persona 4 is terrible.
Yeah. Kind of wish I had the ability to, like, I don't know.
Like, have you ever noticed that, like, in the first dungeon, it's like, okay, you need to get to 14, right?
Yeah.
And then in the second dungeon, the boss of it is level 30.
Yeah. It's
And then you look at Persona 5, which is just like, yeah, you know what? The dungeons are probably a bit linear. There's no denying that. But the linearity has you doing stuff. Like, I'll use the first dungeon as example. Yeah, you know what? You were pretty much following a path most of the time, but every entrance, every crevice of the dungeon has a different thing you need to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, one moment you need to pull certain switches to unlock it to move on. The next moment, you are literally skying the top of the dungeon. Then the next moment there, you're trying to run around to get to an elevator to open up to the next place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Persona 5 dungeons still have a bit of linearity to them, but everything you are doing is different. Every dungeon has its own unique feeling, rather than just like, oh, look, here's the same dungeon just with a new color paint on it.
Also, you're very slow. Come on. I don't want to be this slow.
Yeah, you are pretty slow in Persona 4 compared to 5, especially, which you can run.
Yeah, I've seen the videos that Persona 5 and you're running in palaces and stuff like that. I'm like, sigh, if only.
But like again, I think 4 is a good game. I think Golden is a fun experience.
Oh no, yeah, 4 is still fun because it's a bit different in the setting too. Remember, because 5's like in the city and 4 is just in a.
Oh yeah, no, 5's about a country kid going to the city, and the 4 is a city kid going to the countryside.
So yeah, it's gonna be different aspects and different activities.
And again, I'm not saying 4 is like this bad game because it's no. It's good. It's good. It's a generally good game. Great at sometimes.
It's different, but it's old. You can definitely see the old.
Well, I mean, when it comes to dungeon design, though, like.
You could see the age. You could see the age.
There were good dungeon designs in other RPGs, though, right?
Yeah, but
like I'll use Paper Mario as an example. Yeah, it's a 2D game, but it made every dungeon feel unique. That even if you were going on a linear pathway, it made you do stuff, right?
Well, you can only say that about Paper Mario 1 and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, because every other Paper Mario after that was shit.
Yeah, don't even the other Paper Marios don't exist.
Okay. Glad we're in agreement. Glad we're in agreement.
Yeah, I know. What a hey! At least frickin' you can join me in feeling bad about F-Zero as well. Hey, at least F-Zero ended well. But like the thing about the 4 dungeons that always get me is that in 2008 we saw RPG games with great dungeon design. We saw dungeon design in adventure games be pretty good. So why is the dungeon design in Persona 4 so bad?
Because it's old.
But Chewy, in 2008 we saw games like Wind Waker with great dungeon design.
Oh, well. Oh.
There's probably many other RPGs I haven't played with great dungeon design.
Okay, so I feel like at this point we should probably say, what was Persona 3 like? Because if it was...
I wish I knew. All I knew was Persona 3 takes place in one giant tower.
So if Persona 3 was anything like Persona 4 at that point, I would understand then, at that point, why Persona
but then that also makes me wonder, it's 2006, and why are your dungeons so fucking plain? Like, that's just my issue. That's the one thing that keeps me from truly saying, yeah, Persona 4 Golden's great, is that the dungeons are awful.
I'm not sure.
I also can't deny that the boss fights aren't that great either.
They're something.
They're story-wise they aren't bad, but like, man, I wish the gameplay there was better. You really realize just how important adding nuclear and curse attacks were in Persona 5.
Yeah.
I think that's it, Chewie. I think that's all we have, right?
That's all we have?
We've talked about Persona, the differences with it in Shin Megami Tensei, what Persona did to differentiate itself. Yeah, this was a good 2 hours of recording.
Well, then we'll add in the fact that Persona series is incredible. It's a good series. 4, 5. Wait, was it the same director that's done all these though? Or same scriptwriter?
Let's take Persona 5, Persona 4. Persona 5 was directed and produced by Katsuo Hashiro, and he did Persona 4 as well.
All right. Atlas.
The writers were... Persona 4 was written by Yuichiro Tanaka and Arika Kawasaki, and Persona 5 was written by Yuichiro Tanaka. Katsuhiro Hashino was also a writer, and Shinji Yamamoto was a writer as well.
All right. Dear Atlas,
much similar teams.
Dear Atlas, and all those names mentioned, please keep up the good work. I hope to see your names in Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Persona 6.
We actually might be able to look at that.
And Persona 6.
The producer of Shin Megami Tensei 5 is different. It's Kazuki Yamai.
Okay, never mind then. Fuck you, Atlas. Hope Shin Megami Tensei 5 is still pretty good. Can't wait for Persona 6 though, with all those names mentioned down below. Besides that last one.
Yeah, it'll probably be 8 years from now.
Fuck you, Atlas.
Well, I mean, it was 8 years between Persona 4 and Persona 5.
I slept with your mom, Atlas.
We'll see you guys next week. We're going to be talking about... next week, we're going to be creating a tier list of a specific genre of anime.
I hate you, Atlas.
This has been Guru.
Yeah. Chewy.
That's Chewy. We'll see you next time, guys. Boy.
I hate Atlas. Fuck.